pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I know no one's on right now, but this is kind of a impromptu um, live stream for me. So man, this weekend, this upcoming weekend, maybe tomorrow or Sunday, I'm gonna be going live on this channel. If you are not subscribed to this channel, you definitely want to subscribe to this channel. I think it's going to be very educational, um, informational, and we'll try to make it somewhat fun. But you know, let me go ahead before I get started and get some housekeeping out the way. So let me introduce myself. First of all, my name is Mark Pyers, home-based business tax coach and wealth coach. I'm also the CEO and founder alongside my beautiful wife and business partner, Mrs. Levita Pyers, of the one and only, one of a kind. I can tell you this, I know I'm biased because I created it now over 25, 26 years ago. I know I'm biased, but numbers don't lie. I created a system to teach the masses what the school system has been forbidden to teach about the number one financial educational topic that every person needs to know, and that is the more you know, the less you legally, ethically owe in taxes. Um, so I just want to jump on here. I know there's a lot of information and buzz words, if you would, going around about Donald Trump new tax proposal if he makes it to the White House. Okay, we got to get there first. I mean, this political sham that we're in is ridiculous. I mean, honestly, I don't care if you're for the left. I don't care if you're for the right. I mean, we're in trouble. That's my personal opinion. I'm not going to make this a political conversation. I'm going to get right to my point. It's really this conversation is really meant to just educate whoever come across this information, and then this weekend when I go live, I'm going to really break this down. But I think it's really important for those of you that are paying attention to what's happening in the economy. I mean, you can't go anywhere without hearing inflation. You can't go anywhere. I don't remember. And let me go ahead and apologize because again, this is an impromptu live stream. I didn't get any slides together or plan on any particular one conversation, but I do have one subject, and that subject is that you got to get tax informed. Nobody's coming to save us. Okay, no, Donald Trump's not coming to save us. Kamala is not coming to save us. Congress is not coming to save us. Corporate America is not coming to save us. The 1% is not coming to save us. If you haven't figured that out yet, no one is coming to save you or I. We got to save ourselves. How do we save ourselves? And so I often use phrases from the Bible because I think the Bible is probably one of the best educational books to get information from. And I always like to talk about this one quote. And for those of you that are really spiritual and you want to jump into my inbox and say, "Oh, that's not what it meant," please allow me to use these verses from the Bible to relate the information that I want to relate to you. Um, the number one verse that I want to talk about that I think is really relevant to this conversation is, "My people are destroyed. My people are destroyed, or my people perish from the lack of knowledge." Let me say it again. My people are destroyed, and are my people perish from the lack of knowledge. Okay, I know that it's not sexy to have a conversation about taxes, but it's also not sexy when you get that paycheck on Friday and you see how much taxes have been taken out of your paycheck, and or when you file your taxes and the tax preparer tells you that you got to write the IRS a check, and you're trying to figure out, look, why are they taking so much of my money? Why are they taking so much of my money? I often say, I believe that everyone, based on the laws that we have, everyone should pay every dime that they owe in taxes, and not one dime more. But you know who else agrees with that? You know who else agrees with what I just said? The IRS. The IRS is 100% on board. Let me tell you something. Again, I might jump around a little bit. I might jump around a little bit because, see, there are some people that went to school to learn this information, and I'm going to tell you that the school system don't teach financial education. I'm not knocking CPAs. I'm not knocking tax attorneys. What I can tell you is, over the 30 years that I've been teaching this information, that I've had countless CPAs and tax attorneys contact me by way of social media, email, and even some that have gotten my telephone number. I'm not sure how they got it. Reach out to me and say, I listened to your information and you're 100% on point, but here's what I want to know. Where did you learn that information? Where did you learn so much about the intertwining of the tax code and how it affects American people, how it affects everyday hardworking families, but more important, how did you learn about these, watch this, here's the buzzword, how did you learn about these loopholes? How did you learn about these loopholes? Let me tell you something. There's no loopholes in the tax code. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. There's no such thing as a loophole in the tax code. Okay? If it is in the tax code, it is a law. If it's in the tax code, it is a law. We got to get off of this misunderstanding, this misconception that the tax code was put in place to penalize you or to take your money. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. 30 years ago, I'm going to keep this really short. 30 years ago, I got audited. I didn't know anything about the tax code. To be honest with you, let me tell you how green I was. I didn't even know that the IRS existed. You see, I was a self-employed plumber. I worked for myself. I did my job. I went to people's houses. I performed a service. They wrote me a check. I put the check in my bank account. I paid my bills. That was it. I did not know that there was someone called Uncle Sam that has never showed up to a barbecue. He didn't show up on my birthday. He never sent me a Christmas present. Okay, all right. That was entitled to a big percentage of my money. I didn't know. I wasn't trying to manipulate the system. I just didn't know what I didn't know. And some people say, well, yeah, they teach you that. They teach you about taxes in school. The school system does not teach you about taxes. What the school system teach you is that you're going to pay taxes. What they don't teach you is this. Here we go. Write this down. What the school system doesn't teach you is this. That you, and only you, can control how much federal and state income taxes that you pay. Let me expound on what I just said, because I don't want anybody to think that we're going to play some Wesley Snipes type of games with the IRS. We don't play games with the IRS. There's no need to play games with the IRS. There's a reason why many of you that are going to watch this video have heard that the rich pays zero to no taxes. However, they don't go to jail. But here's what we do. We complain about it opposed to trying to figure out, how is it that the rich pays little to no taxes, however, they don't go to jail? And the reason is because we have something called the tax code. And there's two sides. There's two sides to it. See, you weren't taught about side number one, and you weren't taught about side number two. All you knew was you went to work and taxes came out of your paycheck, and or you got your tax return filed and realized that you had to write a check. Let me let you in on a little secret. The tax code was never designed. In this country right here, first of all, let me give you a little history. And this is going to play on something that Donald Trump actually is proposing, and it's probably not going to happen. Okay, Donald Trump wants to get rid of federal income taxes, period. He wants to go to he wants to go back to when it was really unconstitutional to have income taxes levied on a worker's income. It wasn't that long ago. We're talking about 1913. I've talked about this before. Okay, I talked about this before. 1913 in this country is when the federal income tax, I'm going to say it, was illegally deemed legal. Why do I say legally? However, it was illegal because the United States had already passed a ruling that federal income tax, levy income tax on a person's income was unconstitutional. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the story, but you got to know, if you want to know where you're going, you got to know where we came from. See, this is the problem. We want everything to be instant. We want the TikTok version. Mark, forget all that. Just give me, just give me the shortcut. Well, the shortcut is why we got to where we're at right now. The shortcut is why we're at we're exactly where most people are right now. And that is going to work to have 20 to 30% of their income. You know what? I'm lying. Go to work to have over 40% of their income taken in the form of taxes. You say, well, not me. Oh, no, yeah, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Absolutely you. Do the math. Absolutely you. You got federal taxes. If you live in a state where they have state income taxes, you got state income taxes. You got Social Security taxes. For those of you that think Social Security is a supplemental retirement fund or plan, you're highly mistaken. It's a tax. And it's one that I think is probably going to go away. A lot of people say, man, I wish we didn't have to pay, this FICA tax, which is Social Security and Medicare. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I believe it's going away because Social Security is the biggest pyramid scheme ever created in the history of the United States, levied on the working woman and man. Notice I said that Social Security is the biggest pyramid scheme, Ponzi scheme, ever levied on the working woman and man. Why did I just singled out woman and man? The working woman and man. Here's why. Out of all the sources of earning income, you got active income, you have passive income, and I'm not going to try to break all these down because I don't want to be on here long. You got active income, you got passive income, and then you have, what's the third one? Active income, passive income, and there's another one. It'll come to me. Man, my head is all over the place right now. But we'll talk about, but I want to talk about active income. So you got active income, passive income, and then you have investment income, okay? Watch this. The only source of income that is forced to pay Social Security taxes is active income. Passive income, no Social Security tax. Investment income, no Social Security tax. Active income, You, regardless of whether or not you make enough money to pay federal taxes or state income taxes. Let's say that you don't make enough money. Let's say that you are a single mother and you make $35,000 a year, and you're a single mother with two children. You're probably going to pay zero federal taxes. You're probably actually going to get some money from the federal government. You're probably going to pay zero federal taxes on that $35,000. But you're going to pay 7.5% Social Security and Medicare no matter what. I don't care whether you make minimum wage or you make $100,000 a year, you will always, as an employee, we're not knocking jobs. I'm just trying to teach you something. I'm trying to teach you the system that was set up. So when you know the rules of the system, you know how to play the game, because it is a game. Okay, it is a game. It's not a game that you should try to manipulate, because you don't have to manipulate it. Okay, so I want you to hear that, but it is a game. Active income is someone that has a job, a W-2 wage earning income, and or someone that is self-employed, like I was when I was a self-employed plumber. You will pay Social Security and Medicare taxes to the tune of 7.5% of your income, and you will pay that all the way up to, I believe it's $160,000, and it increases every year, no matter what. There's no, listen to me, I want to write this down, I'm trying to teach you the game. There's no amount of tax deduction that this is good. Oh, this should have been a paid one here. There is no amount of tax deductions that you can apply to your tax return to reduce, even by a little bit, of Social Security and Medicare taxes. I'm going to say that again for the person in the back of the room that got distracted by the TV set. There is zero tax deduction. Not your mortgage interest, which 99% of homeowners can't write off anyway because of what Donald Trump did in 2018. Not your property taxes, which 99% of homeowners can't write off because of what Donald Trump put in place in 2018. Not money that you give to charity. Not how many children you have. There's not one deduction in the entire tax code that you can claim that reduces Social Security and Medicare taxes, better known as FICA, and if you're self-employed, as self-employed income taxes. Not one thing. However, I can earn $1 million. Write this down. I can earn $1 million by investing in the stock market, and guess how much Social Security and Medicare taxes I pay on that $1 million? Zero. In fact, this is going to be a whole different live stream, okay? Because we've been bamboozled. Remember what I said, that the Bible said, again, God may have not been talking about the subject that I'm talking about right now, but I want you to hear me because I think it's applicable to what I'm teaching you. My people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. Not destroyed from the lack of cars. We got a whole lot of people out there being destroyed by buying cars that they had no business buying. We got a lot of people right now that are being destroyed from buying houses because they thought the American dream was to go to school, get a good education, get a good job, to buy the house with the white picket fence, and they didn't understand this next verse, this next warning that God gave us, despite what your spiritual beliefs are, and that is that the borrower will be slaved to the lender, that the borrower will be slave. I'm gonna put it in my words. I'm gonna put a little twist on this, okay? That the borrower, that those that take out a loan with interest tied to it, will be enslaved to the entity that they borrowed the money from. Man, this is so good. I'm trying to figure out how to stop this. I'm trying to figure out how to reel this in, because I think I went way down the rabbit hole. I ain't had no business going right now because I want to keep this short. The borrower will be slave to the lender. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being a homeowner, but there's damn sure something wrong with having a mortgage for 30 years, okay? My people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. I've owned 2 homes, okay? I can tell you right now, most people have no idea the financial devastation that they're doing to themselves because of what they have not been taught. Let me reel this back in because I wanted to talk about Donald Trump and just a few of the things that he's proposing right now. So one of the things that Donald Trump is proposing is that we do away with the federal income tax, period. And what he wants to do is that he wants to go back to where this country used to be prior to 1913 when they put in I hate to say law, but I guess their law, the 16th Amendment. When you amend something, that means something was changed. The 16th Amendment to the Constitution. If you don't know what that is, go and Google it. The 16th Amendment, that means something got changed to the Constitution. That's when the American working man and woman was put under, in my opinion, it's my opinion, okay? It's my video, it's my opinion. Financial enslavement, financial bondage. Because the school system, one, didn't teach you the knowledge about the tax code. There's a reason why they have something called tax deductions and tax credits, which actually reduce or eliminate 100% of the income taxes. Let me say it again. There's a reason why the tax code has something called tax deductions and tax credits, which actually reduces or can zero out 100% of the money taken from your paycheck in the form of income taxes. That brings, see, I love these type of conversations because one thing always attached to another. So the reason that I just said what I just said brings a thought to my mind to ask you a question. For those of you that are afraid of the IRS, I know the IRS is the boogeyman. See, that was one of the traps that they got us with. Us being, we're the masses, the middle class, the ones who are afraid. Oh no, I ain't doing that. I'm just gonna pay my taxes. I don't have a problem with you paying your taxes. You should pay every dime you owe in taxes. But if the government is telling you, they're telling you this, it's in black and white, it's right on their page, but it's not being taught, that if you do this, 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 and this, we'll let you deduct that from the income that you went to your job and worked for, which literally reduces or eliminate the amount of taxes or your requirements to pay income taxes. Why is that? So here's my question. If the government needed your federal income tax dollars, please understand, I'm only talking about income taxes. I'm not talking about property taxes, sales taxes. I'm not talking about, death tax. I'm not talking about any of those taxes. I'm not talking about any of those. I'm talking about income taxes. When you go to work and you get your paycheck and it says federal taxes, state taxes. I'm not even talking about Social Security. But remember that, if you didn't know that, Social Security taxes is only levied. The definition of levy, come on, what's the definition of levied? Because that's what it is. Social Security is only levied against active income. Active income is only W-2 workers, employees, or self-employed individuals. However, you ready for this? If you're self-employed, they gave you a way out. If you're self-employed people can legally eliminate Social Security, Medicare taxes. The only person that can't do it is someone that's getting a W-2 wage. Out the entire tax code. The only person that cannot reduce or get rid of Social Security and Medicare taxes is that life's bright. Is someone earning income as a W-2. However, what you can do is you can legally do this. In fact, the IRS actually wants you to. Believe it or not. Look, documentation beats conversation. I can prove it. The tax code actually wants you to pay less income taxes. Let me tell you something. Then I'm gonna wrap this up, guys, because I'm gonna go live this weekend, and I posted a video earlier because I don't want to fire hose you, because many of you gonna watch this and you're gonna go right back to watching TikTok. You're gonna go right back to going on Instagram and Facebook, and you're gonna go right back to being dumbed down because you have been taught to be afraid of the very thing that is taking 20 and 30% of your income because the school system didn't teach it to you. Then it must not exist. Mark, if everything that you're saying is true, then why don't we know it? Let me go back to my 2 verses. My people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. The borrower, okay, we out here getting these car loans. Oh, I got to get a car. Oh, I got a good job, got to go get a car. The borrower will be slave to the lender. Now I got to add a third one in as I really get ready to wrap this up. It's getting dark out here. I got the light in my eyes, and I think I'm giving you too much information without presentation. See, I know that you need to have a visual. You need to see it in black and white because you're like, who is this guy on him? Don't listen to that guy. I mean, he's going to go to jail. Don't listen to that guy. This guy's sitting in his backyard. Anybody get on social media and say anything they want. See, I am the only person out of 30 years of teaching this information. I tell people, look, I'm not a CPA and you should be glad of that. I didn't go to school to learn this information. You should be glad of that. I'm damn sure glad of it. I went to the University of the IRS.gov, and I thank God that he gave me this willingness to embed myself into that boring information. I guess I was just wired that way. Because most of you're not going to go to the IRS and you're not going to study and you're not going to watch IRS videos to tell you how to keep your money. Do you know the IRS has an entire platform to tell you nothing but how to keep your money? See, all you've ever probably dealt with is a tax preparer. A tax preparer is only there to prepare your taxes. They're called data entry professionals. They just take the information you gave them, they put it in the system, they print out your results, and they ask you for a check. They're not there to educate you. There's no shade on them. It's not their job. See, most people think that tax time is April the 15th. Tax time is right now. Tax time started January the 1st, 2024. If you don't know right now, if I had $1 million on the table and I said, I'll give you $1 million, but you have to tell me which side of the tax code you're currently on right now, because there's 2 sides. You're either on the overpayment side right now, you're on track to overpay your taxes for this year, which means you're going to get a refund, which you think is sexy, but a refund is nothing but refunding you back what you shouldn't have paid in the first place. Or you're going to underpay your taxes. And you're going to get a penalty when your tax preparer prepare your taxes, and they're not going to tell you the reason that you owe $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000, whatever the number is. They're not going to tell you that there was a penalty and interest assessed because you didn't know how to properly go in and fill out that W-4 form on your job. Some of y'all say W-4 form. What is that? I'm going to let you Google that one, because every employee in America must fill one out. Some of you have been on your job for 15 years. You haven't filled out a new W-4 form yet. However, you're getting a refund and are always having to write a check during tax time, and you think that it's because the government is taking your money. No, you don't know what you don't know. And so Donald Trump is proposing, let's get rid of the federal income tax. Well, Mark, how's the government going to operate if we get rid of the income tax? The same way that we operated for 14 centuries prior to 1913. It's called tariffs. You guys have heard this in the news. We did not have an income tax in this country other than during war until 1913. Ironically, it was the same year that the Federal Reserve was illegally voted in to take over our monetary system. I'm going to leave that one right there for now. And so he wants to get rid of federal taxes. He wants to go back to where he put tariffs on imports into this country. And yeah, you might pay a little bit more if you want to imported beer. Let's use that for example. You might pay a little bit more, but you won't be paying 20-30% of your income in income taxes. Your investments in your 401ks, you wouldn't be paying taxes on that money. So now that money will be growing tax-free. That's what we did in this country. We didn't have an income tax. And again, if you think the government needs your income tax dollars to operate, ask yourself a question. If they needed our money, honestly really needed our money, why do they give people tax deductions which actually give them the money back? Why are there W-2 wage earning individuals, okay, that has positioned themselves correctly? They go to work, they file their taxes, and they owe zero federal taxes on $100,000. Me and my wife have done it for years, legally, ethically, and morally. How is that? How are you not paying any taxes? You're not doing your part. I'm going to tell you, just like Warren Buffett said, okay? Warren Buffett says, I pay less taxes from a percentage perspective than my secretary. And he says, I don't do anything but what Congress and the IRS tells me to do. Why is that? Does that sound like the government actually needs your money? In fact, I've labeled income taxes the penalty for being tax illiterate. The highest tax that you'll ever pay, the highest tax that you'll ever pay is the ignorant tax. Don't get offended. Don't get offended by that word, because we're all ignorant about something. The worst tax that you could ever pay is the ignorant tax. Ignorant of what? Ignorant of, I went to work, I made this money, they're taking my money. However, I'm watching people that make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100% more money than I make, and they're on national TV. Hell, even Donald Trump said when he was running for president, and we just passed that right on by. Maybe for a week or two, it was all over the internet. You guys remember when Hillary Clinton said, and she thought she was being cute, Donald Trump doesn't want you to see his tax return because he doesn't want the American people to know that he hasn't and he doesn't pay any taxes. And Donald Trump leaned in and said, that makes me smart. Has anybody seen Donald Trump go to jail for tax evasion yet? So how is it that this man made hundreds of millions of dollars and paid zero tax? You know how? Because he's tax informed. The difference between your money that leaves your paycheck and goes to the federal government, which is called an ignorance tax, is because you're not informed. Because the school system is forbidden to teach this information. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. So this weekend, I'm going to be going live. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to go live and be actually showing some information on my computer. I have to kind of work out some things with a platform to see if I want to do that. But I do think that it's important. I think it's really important because I'm going to tell you, America's in trouble. Our children are in trouble. If you don't think that the housing prices, the manipulated housing prices, is a problem, then you must be sleeping up under a rock. If you don't think that we're headed towards not a recession, we're headed towards a massive depression. In fact, I'm going to tell you that many of us are already having a depression right in our households. So if there was a legal way for you to be able to keep as much of your hard-earned income as legally possible and be able to sleep at night, if there was a way for you to be able to take a portion of your money and be able to put that money in a system where that money grows for you, and the IRS says, you know what, we're going to let you deduct that from your taxes. In other words, let's say that you put $10,000 in the system, and the IRS says, we're going to deduct that from your taxable income, which means you don't pay any taxes on that $10,000. And you can let that money now make more money by growing. I'm not here to preach investments. I'm trying to teach you the game. You don't pay any taxes on that money. If you had the ability to put a portion of the money that you're losing in taxes in a system that actually grows your money for you, increases your money, and the IRS says we're going to go ahead and allow you to remove that from your taxable income. You're not going to be penalized for that. You're going to be rewarded for doing so. Wouldn't you want to know that? I know what you're saying. Why don't they teach this? Why don't they teach this? I've got the answer to that, but I'm not going to say it on this live stream. So guys, I'm going to be going live this weekend. If you come across this video, if you've never, seen any of my information, and this is your first time on my channel, find that little bell, hit that little bell, say, look, I want to know anytime that he uploads some information, okay? Because we're going to talk about the housing market. I'm going to break down to you what, even if you own a home, you don't know what you don't know. I'm telling you right now, I guarantee you. How do you know that, Mark? You don't know who I am. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've talked to hundreds of people, and I haven't yet found one. I've talked to some of the most intelligent CPAs, and they look at me and they say, how did you come up with this? I've learned from the best. I've learned from the people that you're scared of. The people that you think that you're trying to manipulate, I've learned from them, and all they've ever showed me, all the IRS has ever showed me, is how to keep my money. In fact, to the point where they even test me to make sure that I understand how to keep my money. We've been bamboozled. So I want to talk about it. I want to talk about Donald Trump's new proposal. Okay, so one is he want to get rid of federal taxes. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, but I also want to talk about what Donald Trump did in 2018, and most Americans don't even know what happened. Have absolutely no idea. You know what I hear? If you don't believe me, go to YouTube after this video and Google it. YouTube it. You know what I hear? Is that Donald Trump doubled the standard deduction. In other words, you're paying less taxes because Donald Trump doubled the standard deduction. Man, y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake. Oh, married couple used to only get $12,000 as a standard deduction, and Donald Trump doubled it to $24,000. Yeah, he did. Yeah. The standard deduction went from $12,000 to $24,000, but it didn't double. I tell you what did happen. Many Americans that bought into the American dream to own their own home now can't write off their mortgage interest. Now can't write off their property taxes. Now can't write off their state income taxes. Did you know that you actually used to be able to write off from your federal income tax the state income taxes that y'all, my people are destroyed. My people are totally destroyed from the lack of knowledge. So guys, look, I went way longer. I've been on here for 40 minutes. I was only supposed to be on here for 15 minutes. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. There's nothing here to buy. Okay, there's nothing here to try. Anytime that I get on here willingly to spit game, and I'm gonna leave you with this. I don't care what any CPA try to say. I don't care what any tax attorney try to say. I don't care what any person that want to tell me that they got some letters behind their name and I went to school and did all this. Look, that's cool. I appreciate it. I respect the fact that you put in the work, but the school system, the schools, I've had it told to me, and there's CPAs right now that are on YouTube will tell you that they did not learn this information when they went to school and spent thousands and tens of thousands of dollars and got in a student loan. They did not learn the truth about the tax system, and that the tax system is actually there to help those that get the information how to pay less taxes and create wealth at the same time, legally, ethically, and morally, and can sleep at night. They'll tell you they didn't learn it in school because the school system is never and have never and will never teach you true financial education. They'll help you get a job, but it is not designed to teach you how to maximize keeping that money. You know why? Because I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to leave that one alone right now. I'm going to leave that one alone. If you don't think that the 40-40-40 plan really exists, and you think that, oh yeah, that's what people say, you're running in the victim Olympic or whatever the case may be. Oh yeah, everybody wants to say there's a setup. No, it's a setup. The 40-40-40 plan is real. I can prove it to you. You say, well, what is a 40-40-40 plan? You work 40 years for 40 hours to retire on 40% of what you struggled to live on the 40 years that you worked. And the reason that is because your wealth is being stolen through taxation because of lack of financial education. With that being said, guys, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Don't miss me this weekend. Share this video with the right person will get this. Oh, it's 42 minutes. Nobody's going to listen to it. That's all right. Tell them to go over to TikTok. Because playtime is over with. It really is. Playtime is over with. Share this video. That's all I'm asking. Okay? And if you disagree, put it down in the comments. Let me know what you disagree. I'll comment on it, okay? I know some of you have commented on this video. I appreciate you commenting. I didn't want to stop in that flow to go through the comments, but there's a time and place for that on certain streams, and it wasn't tonight. So I didn't plan on going this long. I really want to kind of just dive into Donald Trump's new proposal, but those things will only happen, if he becomes president. I don't think that we're going to get rid of federal income taxes, but you don't have to wait for that. You can get rid of federal income taxes yourself. You don't need Donald Trump for that. You don't need Donald Trump to reduce it. Donald Trump can leave the tax system just like it is right now. You can legally, ethically, and morally drastically reduce your taxes without Donald Trump doing anything. We got to stop hoping that somebody's going to come and save us. Nobody's coming to save us. So you guys enjoy your night. I'll see you this weekend. I hope you got value from this. Share this video, and don't forget, click on that little bell, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit I want to know every time that he comes on, because I know he's going to share something that's going to increase my finances, save me money, and financially transform my life. And he's going to do it with the documentation, because at the end of the day, that beats conversation. So I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you on the next video.